Hello, how's everybody doing? So, today I wanted to make a video that talks about the death of expertise. I read an article that was actually titled that and watched a few lectures uh, about the death of expertise in America. And what does that mean? Well, it seems now that because of Google and because of WebMD and all these different things that people have, everybody thinks they're an expert in everything. So, I just wanted to talk about how real medical experts differ from a lot of the people we're getting our medical advice from, like celebrities, like say Gwyneth Paltrow or Jenny McCarthy, people who are saying don't vaccinate, but they have no medical training at all, none. You talk about these miracle cures and these miracle things that people like Gwyneth Paltrow come up with, that these crazy things, you just have to look them up, these crazy coffee enemas and all this different stuff to cure cancer and to cure this and to cure that. But you have a celebrity and we put all this value in their opinion, and it's like, why? What does it take to be an actual expert in, let's say, oncology? Okay. So you look at that and you say, okay, first of all, you have to get a bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree, usually in biology, and you have to have classes in physics, chemistry 1 and 2, organic chemistry, biology, biostatistics, numerous classes that have to be included in your degree. You can have any bachelor's degree and apply, but you have to have certain prereqs. And not only do you have to have certain prereqs, you have to ensure that you get, I don't know, at least a 3.5, anywhere from a 3.5 to a 4.0. Then after that, people go and take the MCAT, which is an entrance exam test, which from all my friends and people I know that have taken it, who are currently studying for it, who are doctors or trying to get into med school, they say it's a very, 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 very difficult test. One guy I know, this is anecdotal, of course, but one guy I know was saying how he's been studying for close to a year now, at least 6 months, so he can get a high enough score, because you have to have a certain score. So now you have a GPA, a certain score. Then you turn around and apply to 20 medical schools, right? And at each one of those medical schools, you may have, let's say, I don't know, 50 slots, 100 slots. And there are 1,000 applicants, 600 applicants, whatever. Tons, very competitive, correct? You finally get into medical school. And now you have to pass one of the most rigorous trainings, 4 years of medical school, okay? Where the first 2 years are typically your didactics, where you're in class, you're taking, pathophysiology, learning all the classroom science, the basic sciences as they call it. There's nothing basic about them. I mean, they're very difficult classes, a lot of information. And then the next 2 years, the third and fourth years, you're doing clinical rotations in different settings, surgical settings, internal medicine, in the hospital, and outpatient, inpatient. Then, after that, well, before we get to that, you take a step 1 test, and you have to score a certain score on this test to pass, of course. And not only that, but you want to do as well as you can, because that helps determine which specialty you can go into, because some specialties like dermatology are more competitive than others, right? So after you take step 1 and you get a good enough score to apply and get into a residency, then you graduate, and you still have to take step 2 and 3. Now, steps 1, 2, and 3, these tests take hours. I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was something crazy, like they're 10-hour tests, each one. Okay. Then, after that, to be an oncologist, a medical oncologist, you do a 3-year internal medicine residency. That's just your basic internal medicine, primary care. You have to know that forwards and backwards. 3 years of that. And I'm sure during that, it takes some kind of, I don't know if it's a shelf exam or that maybe that's during medical school. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. In residency, I'm sure they have to take some kind of board exam. And then after that, we're still not done. After that, then you specialize for medical oncology. I believe it's a 2-year fellowship. Or if you're doing the dual hematology oncology, which most of the doctors I know that work in that field have both, that's a 3-year fellowship. So 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school. We're at 8 now. 9, 10, 11 years just to get to an internal medicine. Then you have to apply to a competitive fellowship, which is 2 years and puts you at 13 years total. Or if you want to get the dual certification, 14 years. So we're talking about an expert who has 13 to 14 years of experience, and still, that doesn't mean that they're always correct. Obviously, I mean, this is why people get a second opinion. This is why you get a cancer diagnosis. They say, hey, look, get a second opinion. But I would much rather trust the information they're giving me on my diagnosis than Gwyneth Paltrow, who's acted in some movies, who I don't even know her educational background, but I know she doesn't have 14 years of medical experience. But here we are in America. We're like, you know what? I think Gwyneth Paltrow knows better than that oncologist who went to school for 12, 13, 14 years. And knows better than the experts. But we do this in a lot of fields. We do this in with climate change. We're talking about people who are physicists, who are, who study the atmosphere, who study the climate, who study this, who study that. Scientists, right? But we think we know more than, say, a group of scientists at NASA, or a group of scientists that work for a private organization. And it's amazing. And all this because we search Google, but we don't realize it's, how to review the research. Research to a lot of people is simply going to Google and typing in, is climate change real? And then you could have a slew of things that pop up. You could have, mothernature.com, which is probably not credible. But anyway, so I say this to say, when your car breaks down, right, you don't take your car to a veterinarian. You don't take your dog to a mechanic. We have experts in our society for a reason, which is what led me to want to go back to school, to maybe not be an expert, because as a nurse practitioner, I don't know if you can be considered an expert, so to speak, but I want to learn as much as I can and know as much as I can. And in the field of nursing, these are the highest degrees, your DNPs and your nurse practitioners. Well, and I always want to learn more, because there's so much knowledge, vast knowledge. I step back and I look at that oncologist, right? And if I went in as an MP in oncology, I wouldn't dare think I know as much as them. That's why they're the experts, and why we turn to the experts in our society. So that's my PSA for today. And y'all have a great one. I've got more updates coming with the school process. It's kind of slow right now because I don't start until January, but my book should be coming in the mail. So I'm going to upload a video talking about my books. And I'd like to know some other videos people would like to see me make. I'm probably going to do a video talking about hospice and the hospice process, because I worked at hospice for many, many years. And maybe even my path to just getting to where I am today. But anyway, y'all have a great day.